Hello there, my name is Iduma. For those of you that don't know, I lost 24 kilos eating Nigerian food. So I'm here to tell you how to also lose that much weight eating Nigerian food. With Nigerian foods are not like the Western food. They are way more tricky. So you have to not starve yourself, but smartly eat your food. Now, when Nigerians try to lose weight, they think the maths towards losing weight is by starving themselves. Be starving yourself, and that precious one day that you decide to reintroduce having just a little bit of food or having just a little bit of rice because you've missed it, you find out that you start overeating again, and then you start gaining weight. So the true math towards losing weight isn't actually starving yourself, but actually eating smart, cooking the Nigerian food in a healthy way. So you have to not starve yourself, but eat in such a way that is smart and sustainable for you. Now, one of the ways I was able to lose the weight while eating Nigerian food was tracking the amount of food I was having. Nigerian food is not like the Western food. It's way more tricky. So whatever you put into your body, you have to track it. Now, if you watched my first video, or if you haven't watched my first video, I will tell you to now go watch my video on how I lost 24 kilos because I stated all the things I did. So now, one of the things I noted there in that video was that I tracked my calories. I tracked my calories using a calorie tracker. Now, there's so many of them out there. There's MyFitnessPal, there's LifeSum app, there is also My Plate, Lose It. There's so many of them there. Now, what this app does is you put in your details, your information. If you're female, you put in your female, how old you are, how tall you are, you put it in, and the app actually gives you what your calorie intake should be to lose weight. So knowing that, you're not able to actually now know what exactly to be eating and how much to be eating, so that you hit that calorie note that the app gave you to lose weight, and you begin to lose weight. It isn't about eliminating the foods or eating smartly, like I said. Now, how then would you now eat? Don't, out of the way, go and start having salads. Eat the regular foods you would have, but eat them in small portions. Now, note that if you formerly would eat 2 plates of food and you begin to have 1 plate of food, and by doing maybe light exercise, like walking, you're definitely going to lose weight. Sounds funny, but true, because you've actually reduced the amount of food you were taking. So once you're eating in a deficit, it doesn't matter how small the deficit is, you're going to lose weight. Now, how then do you make your food healthy? Nigerian food is healthy, but we make Nigerian food unhealthy by adding in a lot of oils. Our foods are heavily dense with oils. Now, when making a dish now, like the soup, like egusi soup. Now, egusi soup is made with palm oil. Most of the soups in Nigeria are made with palm oil. Now, palm oil has 50% of it is saturated, 50% of it is non-saturated, making it 50% healthy for you. A tablespoon of palm oil contains 150 calories. 2 tablespoons of it contains 300 calories. Now, when you get your specific amount of calories to have, for me, I'm to have 500. So I try to make it 500 breakfast, 500 lunch, 500 dinner, and I want to have swallow with soup, maybe for lunch. I have to be smart about it. I have to be strategic about it. I try to eat less during the morning so that I'm able to contain my oil calories into my lunch, so that it could come into my macros and fit in properly. Now, if you have 2 tablespoons of palm oil, that is 300 calories. So don't forget, just that one ingredient has 300 calories. So other ingredients are going to build up and make it even more calories. So now, we know that 2 tablespoons of palm oil wouldn't make your food look good or taste good. So how then do you make it red? How then do you make it vibrant? How then do you make it Nigerian? Simple. You put in your tomatoes, your tatashe. If you watched my eat in a day, you see how I made my egusi soup. You put in your tomatoes, you put in your tatashe, and you blend it up with that 2 tablespoons of palm oil. Thereby you're adding vegetables, you're adding vitamins into your meal, and you're still adding your palm oil, and your food still tastes great. So you're not depriving yourself. You're not having salads that taste nasty. You're having your regular Nigerian food that still tastes good. Another way of losing weight while eating Nigerian food is by eliminating or reducing the amount of salt. Now, salt is good for you because it contains sodium, but when you start having salt in excess, like putting it in your food, in your parboiled rice, your parboiled beans, when it accumulates, it becomes a lot. And when you have a lot of salt in your food or in your daily intake, you tend to hold more water. And when you tend to hold more water, you tend to gain weight on the scale. And the more salt you have, more weight you hold around your midsection. So it's actually ideal and advisable that you cut down on your salt intake. So another way of losing weight eating the Nigerian food is by cutting down your sugars. I mean, take away your soda, take away the puff, the egg rolls, take the pastries away. Soda is something you hear always, cut it out. Also to cut out your juice. Now, if you want to have juice, get the actual fruits and get the juice out of the actual fruit. Now, why is juice bad for you? Now, if you read the label or the ingredients from your juice packets, the 3 key things to look out for are the 3 first ingredients, because those are the ingredients that are mostly in your food. And if you're seeing glucose, sugar, salt, something in those nature, that means you shouldn't have it. And most of those juice containers contain all those things. So don't buy into the lie that there's no sugar or no preservative in it. If there's no preservative in it, why is it staying that long? If there's no sugar in it, why is it tasting so good? They think you're stupid, but you're not stupid. How can I totally cut out my cubes of sugar? How will I have my oatmeal without having sugar? Replace it with having sweet fruits like pineapples or apples. Or you could even have date syrup. If you follow me on Instagram, you know I take date syrup. And the date syrup isn't something complex. It's just dates with water blended together. That is it. And it's natural. It has a lot of health benefits to it. If you are finding it hard cutting away the soda, I would ask that you trick yourself to stop having soda. Sounds confusing, but this is it. Now, I told a friend of mine, she was like, she has cut out her sweets, she has cut out her sugar, but she's finding it hard to cut out the soda. Now, soda is hard to cut out. There's a trick to soda. I asked her, what's your favorite soda? And she told me Sprite, luckily for me. So I told her, take a bottle of Sprite that day, drink that bottle of Sprite, and keep the container. Now, I want you to carry this bottle, the container of Sprite, wherever you go to. But rather than having Sprite inside it, I want you to put water inside it. You know, Sprite is transparent and colorless, water too. So she carried around that bottle of Sprite with water inside it around. And whenever she felt like having a drink, she would have water instead of Sprite. Now, you might say, okay, my favorite drink is Fanta, not Sprite. Carry around carrot juice inside your own rather than Fanta. Now, if you're Coke, I'm still finding your trick. So I'll get back to you on Coke later on. I'll still find a way around Coke. The way of losing weight eating Nigerian food is having in a lot of water. When I was overweight, I found out that I barely took water. I would take probably maybe a glass of water a day or none at all for days. Sometimes I feel thirsty, and instead of me grabbing water, I would grab a bottle of Coke. And when I started having in water, it was kind of not a good taste because water is tasteless. But if you keep having it and you make it a habit to like have this amount of water in a particular day, you find out that you make it a hobby and water starts actually tasting good, and water actually helps you with your skin. Now with water, how I started taking in a lot of water was by putting a reminder on my phone for every 2, if you want 3 hours. So when the reminder hits, I know I need to take water, because it goes off like an alarm to have water. So that is how I started having a lot of water. So now from all I've said, a little recap. Losing weight in Nigerian food, you have to 1, reduce your oil intake, 2, reduce your salt intake, 3, reduce your sugar intake, and 4th, increase your water intake. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. The thumbs up button really helps my channel grow and really helps to push my video out there. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed. Subscription is free and is the red bar that says subscribe down there. And also to comment down below if you have any questions or want more clarification on how to go about your journey. And also if you want somebody to keep you accountable and on track, go on Instagram. I'm iduma.u on Instagram, and DM me, and I could keep you accountable and keep you on your journey to losing weight. So thank you so much for watching my videos. I post health and fitness related videos every Tuesday, so I'll see you next week Tuesday.